back from your snack break. I hope you had a delicious, nutritious little meal to get your brains ready for the rest of the TED Talk that we're having today. And I'm Maggie Boreham, and this is my talk. And thank you so much to the team here at TED at NYU for asking me to come speak. Although I have to say initially, at first, I was really surprised when I was asked to talk and that people would be interested in what I had to say. Because usually when you hear TED Talks, they're about important social justice issues or important cultural phenomenon. And my veganism was something that I never really analyzed before until today. So I'm pretty happy that they asked me to do this now. Also, a lot of the time, I realized that people think of veganism as a trendy sort of thing. I mean, I guess Beyonce did it for 28 days. 28 whole days Beyonce was vegan. And so it's kind of a trendy thing. People want to be like Beyonce, so they try the vegan thing. And I didn't want to self-identify as vegan because I didn't want people to think that, I was like that. I was just trendy. But, I changed my mind. Now I'm vegan. And I was afraid to self-identify as vegan as well because, let's be honest, we're annoying. I get it. Vegans are weird and annoying. Whenever people say, hey, you know what, do yourself a favor. In the future, marry a vegan. You only have to cook one meal. I think about how horrible that would be because we're so weird. It's just a fact of life. But I also think it's really important that you guys understand what a vegan is, before I start. And I don't mean to insult anybody's intelligence here. If you know a vegan or have ever even come in contact with a vegan, I'm sure they've told you on numerous occasions what they eat, what they don't eat, why you should be vegan, and I'm not telling you to stop eating meat. I only became vegan 4 years ago. Guys, this week was my 4-year vegan-versary. Thank you. It is a thing that we celebrate. It's like a holiday almost. And I'm sure you guys realize this week was also another holiday, Thanksgiving, probably the most food-centric holiday that we celebrate. And you're probably right now thinking, I'm a nut because I gave up all fish, meat, eggs, dairy, basically all the good stuff, a little bit under a week right before the biggest food holiday we celebrate. So, but hear me out here. I'm not crazy, I promise. But why do people become vegan? What is a vegan? Like I said, don't be offended. A vegan probably told you so many times why they ever became vegan. Actually, my sister loves to tell me a joke, and it goes, a vegan, an atheist, and a CrossFitter walk into a bar. How do I know? They told me within the first 2 minutes of being there. Yeah, she loves to tell me that one. And it's true, us vegans, proud, But what is a vegan? How do you define vegan? If you do a quick little Google search, this is what you get. It's kind of small, so I'll read it to you guys. Vegan, a person who does not eat or use animal products. A vegan diet. That's it. But hear me out here, guys. Veganism is a spectrum, okay? Some vegans choose to wear leather. My watch strap is leather. I'm vegan, but I don't eat anything with a face or that comes from something with a face. I just don't ingest it. But some vegans choose to wear leather. Some vegans choose to eat honey. And no, we're not all members of PETA. And also, I do not have, popular to contrary belief, a shrine to kale, avocado, or quinoa, even though they're all really deserving foods. So let me start you at the beginning of my vegan journey, the beginning of everybody's vegan journey, why somebody might choose to do this crazy thing and just stop eating meat. Well, the first reason I chose to become vegan was health. After I first started to be a vegan, my skin cleared up, I had energy, I lost a little weight, all the things that people tell you that you can't do being vegan because you lack protein, but that's such a myth. People will tell you anything to make you stop doing something if they think it's a little weird. And, it was, but I kept up with it, So yeah, health is a huge reason, and if you're at all interested about the health aspects of your diet, I highly recommend this documentary called Forks Over Knives, and it's not something that's going to make you stop eating meat and animal products altogether, but it's a huge proponent on the pros and cons of a plant-based diet or incorporating maybe a once or twice a week plant-based diet into your life. Another reason is the environmental aspects. With all the talk about climate change and all the talk about your carbon footprint and what you can do as an individual to help, veganism is like one really small thing you can do. It's not going to change the world. No, clearly it's not. But it's one small thing an individual can do, and that really, resonated with me. Another thing people do is you've all seen the videos of animal cruelty. That's another reason people become vegans. I'm not going to go too into it because I know if you're sitting in this room, you've probably seen them. Another reason that I became vegan, however, that I want to call your attention to is the treatment of the workers in factories that process animal products or animal foods. It's a lot of maltreatment of the people who work there. And if you want to learn more about this, I'm going to recommend another great book and documentary to you called Fast Food Nation. It's really powerful, and again, it's not like vegan propaganda. You're not going to read it and just stop eating meat altogether. So that's kind of why I became vegan. But the biggest reason was because my family was very supportive of me, clearly. My mom was vegetarian already, so it was easy for me to make, and I made this huge spiel to my dad about why I didn't want to eat another one of those lamb chops ever again. But the biggest thing was one day we were making chicken and dumplings at home, and my best friend's family was over, and my best friend's dad asked why I was eating quinoa instead of my dad's chicken and dumplings. And my dad said, "Oh, she became vegan a few weeks ago." And then he tacked onto the end, "I give her one more week." And then my dad's friend said, "I give her 2 more days. I'm having a barbecue this weekend." Let me tell you something. Nothing makes an angsty teenage girl want to prove people wrong more than a bunch of middle-aged dudes saying, "Can't do it." They're wrong. 4 years later, I'm still vegan. Just want to put that out there. But anyway, so I started being vegan in Texas. I'm from a little outside of Dallas, Texas, the suburbs. And, everybody told me at first, vegan in Texas, forget about it. Vegan, you see it, you shoot it, you kill it, you grill it. That's it. And Texas has a huge barbecue culture, Friday Night Lights is so real in my hometown. Tailgates all the time. And I couldn't eat the things at the tailgates. I couldn't eat the ribs. My friends would make fun of me because I'd be eating corn, and I would have the fruit platter that somebody bought because they felt bad for me. And at birthday parties, I couldn't eat the pizza or the cake. And it's not that I couldn't do these things. I chose not to do these things. But I also was really fortunate in Texas because my family was super supportive of me, and they would cook for me, and my dad taught me new recipes, and they would take me to one of the 2 vegan restaurants within an hour drive in Dallas, Texas. So that was, not as difficult as I thought it was going to be. The next step in my vegan journey was when I got the news that I was going to be going to school in New York. I was really so excited about this. I knew New York would have vegan food for me. I Googled, what do vegans eat in New York? And a huge map came up with all the different restaurants, and it was all the different restaurants that I couldn't afford, and it was great. And so as a freshman, I had no money, and so I was eating off the dining plan, and I had no kitchen in my dorm room. But luckily, NYU has a great dining hall that has vegan options every single day, and it's a variety of vegan options, and it lets people kind of, have a variety in their lives even though they have these dietary restrictions. However, around this time, I also started getting into more of the health aspects of why I was vegan, because people would ask me, people would say, "Why are you vegan?" And I didn't want to tell them about the animal cruelty, and I didn't want to tell them about the workers, because I didn't want them to think I was this crazy hippie, and I didn't want to gross them out from eating meat. But I wanted scientific health reasons why I was vegan. So I started reading a lot about what I was putting into my body, and I became a little obsessive over it, to be honest with you. I would really only eat things that I knew were super nutritious, and I wouldn't eat breads, and it really limited me going out, honestly. It was great at first. I thought I was so healthy. I lost 20 pounds instead of gaining the freshman 15, and I was so excited. But then I realized that I missed out on a huge cultural experience, and that's sharing meals with other people. I just talked about Thanksgiving, and it's a holiday in which we break bread with the ones we love. There's a reason communion and sharing food with other people is such a cross-culturally important subject. It's something that everybody needs in their lives to make really important, strong bonds with other human beings. And I missed out on that because I was limiting what I was eating. One of my best friends, she told me, after I started going to restaurants with them and stuff and realized that eating a bowl of pasta with some marinara sauce wasn't actually going to kill me, that I'm so much more fun now. She was like, we have something we can do. It's another activity that we can share together. And that was a really big surprise. But also I realized it makes people feel really uncomfortable when you go to a restaurant with them and watch them eat their meal and you're not eating yourself. So that was a little weird vegan thing I did. But another thing that I was really fortunate about is I eventually moved into an apartment in which I had a kitchen, and I discovered I had this new insane passion for cooking. I loved to cook. I could still know what was going in my food. I could be cautious about what I was eating, but I could have fun with it. I could experiment. It was a way in which I could share my passion with other people. I was cooking for friends, I was cooking for family, and I challenge you guys to do this too. Cook for other people, cook for the ones you love. It's a great date with a significant other or with friends or with your family. Cook for them and share your foods with them, but also let them share their foods and their culinary culture with you. Don't say, no, I don't want that because it's vegan, because guys, Oreos are vegan. You know? Not all vegan food is gross. Once I asked my friend if she wanted some peanut butter, and she's like, is it vegan peanut butter? All peanut butter is vegan, guys. You know? Don't knock it. Yeah, try to cook with other people. But this brings me to my last, final chapter of my vegan journey, where I am right now, which is in Madrid. And I have to be honest with you, Madrid has probably been the hardest part of my vegan journey. Like, if you guys haven't noticed, the diet is 3 main staples: cheese, ham, bread. I eat bread. And so, I guess I should have known, like, my very first, like, cuisine experience in Spain should have been a major red flag that I was, like, gonna have a bumpy ride. I went out for tapas. The food smelled delicious. It looked really great. I was with friends. It was awesome. And, I thought my Spanish was awesome, too. I thought I had a perfect accent, I was flawless, basically belonged here. I went to go order a delicious plate of champiñones, garlicky mushrooms. It was gonna be great. I found out my accent wasn't as good, and the waiter didn't quite understand me when I got a delicious giant plate of chicharrones. So instead of getting my delicious garlic and mushrooms, I got a huge mountain of squid. But I didn't send it back. I ate the bread. But I shared the squid with my friends. They might not have wanted it, but they got it. It was a new experience for them too. Because I realized I was the one being difficult. I was the one coming into a new culture with my own cultural expectations, expecting them to meet me halfway. But I have to meet them halfway as well. You know, if I want to experience the culture, I have to understand that sometimes they're gonna look at me like an alien when I walk up and, you know, say, oh, could I have the cheese on the side, or no egg or no fish in this dish, please? So it's really important, and I challenge each and every one of you. You're probably wondering, why is she talking about this? Why do I care that she's vegan? Why do I care that it's hard to be vegan in some places of the world? Again, this is not a propaganda piece. I'm not telling you to stop eating meat altogether. But what I want to do is I want to challenge each and every one of you, especially the picky eaters, to go out and experience a different culture, experience a different cuisine, share your food with other people, share your food culture with other people, and understand other people's food cultures. It's a really, really, really important of cross-cultural communication, and it's something that we, could all use a little work on. You never know what you're going to find out about yourself and what you're going to find out about other people. So I'm going to leave you with one last story. It's something my dad reminds me of pretty much all the time when I tell him I'm probably going to be vegan forever. He reminds me of a story about my auntie who went to go stay with a family in Croatia. Now, this family in Croatia was really excited about her coming, and in some sort of like almost ritualistic welcoming ceremony, killed their favorite chicken to prepare for a meal for her, not knowing she was a vegan of 8 years. Now, at this point, when they unveiled the beautiful chicken that they had prepared, my auntie had 2 options. The first of which was to say, "No thanks, I appreciate the fact you killed your prized chicken, but I don't want it." The second option was to get past the barrier and get out of her comfort zone and try the chicken, try the different cultural experience that these people had prepared for her. Safe to say my auntie's no longer a vegan. I guess you guys probably know which option she took, but yeah, that's my challenge to you all, to go out, try new things, try different things, and understand other people's differences. Even if it's something as small as a culinary difference. They just don't like eating certain things, or they love eating certain things. Just challenge yourself to be accepting of that. Thank you guys so much, and if you have any questions about veganism or documentaries, or want to know a place where they actually sell vegan tortilla, come talk to me. I've got you. Thank you. That's me eating vegan Nutella.